Dear Diary, Apple's new journal is excellent, even though there are currently some peculiar gaps. And of course, it's only on the iPhone. Yet it is good now, and it promises to be excellent. SWALK. Hello, I'm William Gallagher, and this is 58 Keys, which as always, is for writers like you and me who use and write on Macs and iPhones and iPads. Do subscribe or support 58 Keys on Patreon, because there is always so much to write about in our journals. There's one important thing to tell you about Apple Journal, but then please let me just enthuse at you about the good bits of Journal for you and me as writers, and then, we'll quickly scoot over the bits that aren't so good. I mean, that's not, to hide something or diminish something, but really it's the same story a few times over. A bit of surprise that Journal doesn't do this feature or that feature, and then, frankly, certainty that it's going to eventually, or maybe actually even quite soon, because, well, that's the important thing. Let me get that out of the way. As I record this, Journal is only available in the latest developer beta of iOS 17 for the iPhone, and by the time you see it, it's possible that it'll be in the public beta. It's possible that actually it'll be done. It'll be out. It'll be available for everybody. Journal will be on everyone's iPhone. And if it isn't, if I'm wrong, it's moments away, minutes maybe. So either you've already got Journal, or you are the length of a boiling kettle away from all the good stuff in it, and it is good. I've actually moved Journal onto my iPhone front screen because it's good enough for that. At any point, you can tap on the Journal app, and then you tap on the plus sign, and then on the new entry sign, and then you're off. You start writing, and well, what you write is whatever you like. This is your journal, your diary. It's only for you. It's meant for you now, and you for next year, and you in 10 years' time. It's for you to look back at now and see a snapshot of what you were doing today. What you're doing is too easy a thing. What you were feeling, what you were thinking, what was going on in every sense for it today or yesterday. By default, a journal entry assumes you mean today is today, but you can't. There you go. You can set a custom date. So you were just too knackered by the end of your hiking up the side of the Eiffel Tower yesterday, but today you feel like maybe that's something worth making a note about. So you can write it up, and you can give it yesterday's date. You can also add photographs into a journal entry. Photographs you took yesterday, today, whenever. You can make a voice recording directly into the journal entry. You can have it show a map of where you were when you recorded that journal entry, that voice message, when you typed it, whatever you did to make that journal post. There's a map of where it was all going on. You can add all of this to any journal post. But hold that thought, because there's one more thing about writing, specifically our writing in Journal. Now, you're a writer. I don't think you're going to be stuck for something to write, although actually I was once, and it prompted me into something I would otherwise have forgotten. So if you are stuck for something to write, then you can just tap this journaling suggestions button. This is going to vary for you, and I don't just mean in the usual way. Your mind may vary to mine. I mean it has varied for me enormously over the beta test. I mean, staggeringly so. I mean, I don't think that Apple forgot to switch bits on or something at the end, but at the beginning even it felt like that. I do wonder whether or not actually you're going to see changes as well, because it takes time for the iPhone and for Journal to get ready to index the data, I suppose is the phrase I'm thinking of, but to get ready to offer you all of these suggestions that ultimately it can. But what you will always get in Journal, even when there is nothing else, is this series of 3 banner suggestions, or ones very much like it. Writing prompts, the sort of thing. Something to think about, something probably to write about. I'm finding them a bit, well, they remind me of greetings cards at the moment. But if you don't like any of the 3 that you're shown, well, then each one has a button. It has a refresh button that lets you get another suggestion instead. At the moment, it seems to me that these suggestions are being pulled from quite a small pot. But this is what made me think of something that I wanted to write down that I would have forgotten otherwise. So they do work. And when it works for you, you can read the suggestion and go, oh yeah, right, he said that, meant to put that in. And then tap new entry, away off you go. Or you can tap the suggestion itself. And yeah, you're in journal, you're writing just the same, but you have that suggestion text in a banner at the top of your entry to keep you focused, I suppose, on what it is you've chosen to write about. And then when you are done, when you have written, well, you can just leave that there, or you can delete it as you need. Now, all of this is good, I think, and I'm using all of this, but there is more. For some reason, it took over a week before Journal, without having had any further updates from Apple, to offer me more than those 3 banner text suggestions. It took getting off 10 days before it began offering me what Apple had promised before. Well, actually, let's be specific. It took that long before it started offering me this type of thing every time I start a new journal entry. As well as the text banner things, I now get curated photo selections. So far, they've never been from today, but that could just be because I haven't taken any shots recently. Well, I've taken one. I took a COVID shot the other day and then immediately got COVID. Whiskey comes in shots too, doesn't it? Possibly time to get back onto the point. The photos that it's been offering me, and that it will at least sometimes offer you, are the same as those memories that you've seen the Photos app come up with. They're curated images from a particular event you photographed, or they're all from photographs you took on today's date over the years, or maybe your photographs of a particular person, a partner or something, over the years. Plus, I am now getting offered podcasts. If I've listened to a podcast, that comes up as a suggestion and I can tap and add it to the entry. It ought to be also offering me what phone calls I've been making, what music I've listened to. Anything that goes through the iPhone should be presentable to Journal. It doesn't record everything for you automatically, but it should offer you the choice of, yeah, that was a key phone call, and include that. And so far for me, it isn't. But I got to say, I've had a really good time listening to lots of music and randomly phoning friends just to see what happens. Yeah, and fitness. Okay, there's also fitness. Yeah, running out of time now. I said that you can record an audio message into a journal entry, and there you go. There one is. But it's going to sit there as audio only. There is no automatic transcription of what you said. There's no way to select it and say, please transcribe. Which should seem okay. I mean, you elected to record the audio. It's on you. But it also seems a bit peculiar, since when Apple announced all of this at WWDC 23, it was in the same breath that it was making really a big deal about how voicemail and audio messages you receive are automatically transcribed for you. Then you've been seeing how to start a new entry in Journal. You open the app, you tap the plus sign, you tap either a suggestion or just new entry, and that's quite a few taps really to get going. When, I want to make a note. As yet, it's pretty much your only option. You can't, for instance, you certainly can't ask Siri to start a journal entry for you. You can start one manually and then dictate into it, but you can't start and dictate one via Siri. If I said, hey, Iris, make me a new journal entry, it would add something to my calendar instead. That's what it's doing at the moment. There's no journal entry button in Control Center either. There's no journal entry within messages. You can tap in a message and get access to a dozen or more apps that do things, but Journal isn't one of them. So you're having a nice message conversation with someone, and actually, yes, this is really special. This is what life is about, a good old natter. I want to make a journal note out of that. You can't do it within messages. And as yet, there is no controlling Journal through shortcuts, which means you can't, for example, set your iPhone 15 action button to start a new journal entry and record your voice into it. You can't do steps like that. What you can do, though, is share information. I always think share is the wrong... Well, sometimes I think it's a singer, but I also think it's the wrong word, because it's not, you and me sharing something. It means one of your apps telling one of your other apps something about the first app. I don't know. I can't think of a better word than sharing, but I do keep trying. But anyway, if you're in the music app, for example, you can share the information of what track you're listening to. You can share that into a journal entry. And it's the same with podcasts or websites and stuff. Really, there must be some limits here, but the idea is you can share the current thing on your iPhone into a new journal entry, and it is a new journal entry. This time, the entry starts without you doing the tapping the app, the plus sign, the new entry sign. It just does it, which is what you would want from Control Center. It's what you would want from shortcuts, but it do have it here at least, except there's no way to share your current favorite song and that podcast interview with the artist and their official homepage into one journal entry. Each share goes into its own separate entry. I think I'm sounding critical of journal, because I am, aren't I? Really? But on the one hand, I'm really conscious. I've got to stress, I'm very aware that what I'm using at the moment is a test version of journal. So of course there are going to be problems, and of course it's possible that everything I don't happen to like will be fixed or changed in some way by the time of release. And I'll bet you anything, if something isn't improved or added by the release date, it will be in later versions of journal. And on the other hand, what is here now and what is working now, actually I like it very much. I'm really pleased with journal, and as I say, I can't remember the last time I jiggled things around on my iPhone front screen, but I have for this. I'm using it, I'm enjoying it, and yeah, all right. I think that's not a surprise, really. I think you would predict it. We would both predict this because I'm a writer, you're a writer, this is for writers, except there is one thing about journaling on the iPhone. Apple's Journal is, I'm sure, completely accidental knockoff of the famous Day One journaling app, which is beloved by so many people, but not me. Journaling is, well, by definition, journalism is deeply personal. It only takes a single problem, one loss of one entry, for you to stop trusting a journaling app on your phone. And Day One had the single most calamitous data loss failure from my wife many years ago. And at the time, the support I got from the company, atrocious, which was especially enraging because the entire loss was their fault, not my wife's. It was some back-end thing. A lot of years now, can't remember what had happened, but I do remember that, of course, she stopped using Day One instantly. And all these years later, she's still writing a journal in a paper notebook instead. I've told her about Apple's Journal, and she doesn't care. What she lost then was too important for her to ever consider iPhone journaling again. So, thanks, Day One. Obviously, it was the same for me, and I obviously will never use Day One again, but I am using Apple's Journal. And I think there's a reason for it. I think there's a logic. Apple's bigger than Day One, of course. Apple's bigger than anything, isn't really? So while you can't be absolutely certain, right, that its journal could never have a similar calamitous data failure, you can be certain of this. If one pixel of journal data is ever lost by Apple, that end of the world, betrayal of civilization, Apple doomed, all of that. For comparison, if Microsoft loses your entire journal, it's a security feature. Our journal data, okay, it is stored on our iPhone. I would like it to be on the Mac, I like it to be on the iPad, but it's on the iPhone, and it isn't sent off anywhere from the iPhone to be examined, for example, passed, to have those suggestions created and sent back to us. All of that is done on device. And while the journal is backed up to iCloud, it's automatically encrypted there so that not even Apple can read it. Still, it's on our phones, and never underestimate the power of finger trouble. You or I could still accidentally delete something and really regret it, but at least we know, at least we can be sure that Apple will have taken extraordinary measures to make sure that Apple doesn't lose anything for us. That's not enough for my wife, but so far it seems to be for me. We'll see. It's 2 weeks I've been using this. Now, it's still a bit new toy-itis, but I did move it to the front page after a couple of days of use. I am using it, and when it prompts me each day, I'm thinking, actually there is this to make a note of. Yeah, I think it's going to last, but we'll see. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching this. Now, take care of yourself. Write more in your journal, your diary, or, actual writing in anything. And I'll see you soon.